Democrats just shut down the federal government, and we have the White House documents proving why. They're demanding $1.5 trillion for free health care for illegals, transgender policies, and defunding rural hospitals, all while our troops work without pay. Mark Vargas from the Illinois Review returns with explosive evidence showing Chuck Schumer is coordinating with Soros-funded groups to orchestrate the showdown. 65% of Americans oppose it. Democrats don't care. The leaked memos, the secret meetings, the months of planning, it's all coming out. What you're about to see will expose the radical left shutdown strategy and who's really pulling the strings, so stay with us. Now, if you didn't know this, gold has gone mainstream. You're seeing it everywhere, and prices keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's safe, simple, and built for the long run? That's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Noble Gold's specialists are trained to help investors just like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into gold on a gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. You'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and a U.S.-based service from a team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metals transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it's their commitment. So visit nextnewsgold.com to claim your free wealth protection kit and see if you qualify for that bonus 10-ounce silver flag bar and the 1-ounce silver eagle. That is nextnewsgold.com. Noble Gold, helping you build a stronger future. That number on the screen, too, 877-646-5347. Now, I sat down with Mark Vargas earlier today to break down the Soros machine behind the Schumer shutdown. Take a look. Democrats just shut down the federal government, and we have the White House documents proving why. They're demanding $1.5 trillion for free health care for illegals, transgender policies, and defunding rural hospitals, all while our troops work without pay. Mark Vargas from the Illinois Review joins us again with explosive evidence showing Chuck Schumer is coordinating with Soros-funded groups to orchestrate this shutdown. 65% of Americans oppose it, but Democrats don't care. Mark is the editor-in-chief of the Illinois Review, the largest publication in Illinois for conservatives. He's here to expose the radical left's shutdown strategy. Mark, welcome back.
Great to be with you, Gary.
Mark, you've got the White House documents showing that Democrats shut down the government for $1.5 trillion, a crazy wish list. What are some of these outrageous demands that they're making?
Well, the biggest demand, obviously, is to fund free health care for illegal aliens who have entered our country under President Biden's wide open border policy. Some $200 billion for illegal aliens for their health care. This should be no surprise, Gary, because over the last several years, major cities controlled by Democrats have spent nearly $20 billion on migrants to ensure that they had free health care, food, clothing, shelter, apartments, prioritizing illegals over law-abiding citizens. And so it's no surprise that the Democrats, who are controlled by their far-left, woke, progressive politicians, it's no surprise that they wanted to shut down the entire government, really stick it to the American people out of protest because they want their illegal alien friends to get free health care. It's absolutely outrageous.
It's insane. I don't know how any sitting member of Congress can actually support something so ludicrous. I don't know what's driving this, but I guess we're finding out now. Axios is reporting that Chuck Schumer is closely coordinating with outside Soros liberal groups, Soros-funded activists driving this. How deep does this coordination go, Mark?
Well, it's very deep. And Chuck Schumer knows that AOC is on his tail. She wants his U.S. Senate seat, and he's worried. In polls, Gary, that have been in New York there, she's beating him in a one-on-one poll. So how does he deflect that? He bows to the far-left progressive liberal agenda, and he bows to these George Soros-funded groups who have spent millions and millions of dollars targeting the Trump agenda, targeting conservative Americans. And so now it's been revealed that the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have been planning this shutdown for months. They've been having strategy meetings. They've been phone calls, emails, conference calls, in-person meetings, strategizing about shutting down the government. And the pressure is being applied financially by George Soros and these far left progressive liberal groups who don't love America, they hate America, who don't want law and order, they want lawlessness. And so it has been exposed, and the truth is finally coming out that this strategy has been planned by the Democrats for a long time.
Mark, what do they stand to gain from this?
Well, this is we're seeing Trump derangement syndrome playing out on live television. What they gain chaos. They love chaos. They love lawlessness. They love the idea that all of these tens of millions of migrants who have entered our country illegally, many of them very violent and dangerous with very scary criminal backgrounds and histories, they want those individuals in our communities, turning them upside down. They want high crime. They want violent crime. They want to waste taxpayer dollars to ensure that they have free health care, to ensure that they have food, clothing, and shelter. This is a deliberate strategy by the far left progressive liberal Democrats to not help America, but to destroy America.
I mean, what message does this send to the American people?
Well, illegal aliens first and America last. I mean, look at who's going to be affected. The police officers, firefighters in terms of their pay, soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen. That means your grandmother or your mother or your aging father is going to have issues, disruptions regarding their health care. Rural health care is going to be in big trouble. 50,000 Coast Guardsmen will go unpaid. But more importantly, Gary, this is something that really sticks out to me. You know who else is infected by this? Border Patrol agents and ICE agents. And that's not accidental at a time when President Trump is deploying the National Guard, deploying ICE agents and Border Patrol agents into these sanctuary cities like Chicago, in order to drive down violent migrant crime. This is no accident. This has been planned for months to ensure that the only way to stop President Donald Trump and his Make America Safe Again policy is to end the pay and shut down the government.
Well, we've seen the protests in the streets, the blockades against ICE facilities. We've seen it in Portland. We've seen it in Broadview. So this is perfect timing for them to carry out that agenda. 65% of Americans oppose the shutdown. Democrats holding military paychecks, veterans care hostage. I mean, Mark, why are they ignoring the American people?
Because they don't care, Gary. All they care about is their far left progressive liberal agenda, an agenda that includes lawlessness, an agenda that puts everyday Americans' lives at risk because of violent, dangerous illegals that have entered our country. It's a policy that allows and advocates for boys playing in girls' sports, boys changing in girls' locker rooms. This isn't the United States of America. This is the beginning of a communist regime takeover of a third world type country by George Soros and the Democrats that he funds and supports, including AOC and, yes, Chuck Schumer.
Now, you've been to Iraq. You've seen the sacrifices that our troops make. 1.3 million troops will work without pay during this shutdown. What message does that send to our military families, and what type of national security message is this?
Well, number one, talk about debilitating for these military families who are already suffering and going through enough. People forget that the families pay a large price too, without having their loved one who's oftentimes serving in harm's way. But the national security risk, you cannot calculate the risk that is right now. Gary, we're living in a very dangerous world. We've got nuclear powers wanting to start wars with each other. President Trump is literally stopping a war every month during his presidency since January. This is a deliberate strategy, not only to turn our major cities and our country upside down with violence, but this is also a deliberate strategy by the Democrats and George Soros to turn the world upside down, to take away the pay of our soldiers at a critical time in our country when our national security is at very serious risk.
How does this affect morale for troops?
It's horrible. It's horrible for morale for troops, and my heart and my thoughts and my prayers go out to them and to their families. What kind of message does this send when they're in harm's way, when we're literally every day on the verge of a World War III? But thanks to President Trump and his leadership, he is a president of peace. But imagine standing on the front lines, having weapons pointed in your direction, and your Democratic leaders in Congress say, we don't want you to get paid. We want illegals to get their health care. Again, this is illegals first, America last.
Now, Mark, Republicans, they want a clean funding extension that Democrats have supported 13 times before. What has changed right now to make them suddenly demand open borders and transgender policies?
I mean, it really is amazing that they've had no problem supporting these types of continuing resolutions in the past. In fact, Gary, last time Democrats worked with Republicans to make sure that the government stayed open. But what's the difference this time? Donald Trump and his Make America Great Again policy. Again, this is Trump derangement syndrome. They don't want America to win. They don't want America to be safe. They want lawlessness. They want chaos out in the streets. They want migrants entering our country and wreaking havoc in our cities. Think about this. In Chicago, the Chicago public school system put out an email to teachers saying that regardless of how a migrant student's doing, an illegal student's doing in class, you have to pass them. So if that's what they're doing at the local level, you have to give them passing grades. What are they doing at the national level? They're shutting down the government to make sure that they can secure those tens of millions of votes of illegals.
It's insane. Mark, as someone who's covered Illinois politics extensively, is this the same playbook that Democrats use at the state level, manufacture crisis for radical demands?
Absolutely. I mean, think about the lawlessness that's happening in the streets of Chicago. It's a war zone. And what do the Democratic leaders want to do? They want to deny it. Gary, just the other day, a 6-year-old boy, I put this on my ex, a 6-year-old boy was shot while riding in the back seat of his parents' car because of gang wars and erupting, and he's now recovering in the hospital. What do his Democratic leaders try and do? They try and cover that up. And so this playbook is not only a local and state playbook, it's a national and international playbook. And the players are all the same. George Soros, progressive liberals, chaos, anarchy, migrants. The story is playing out exactly the same.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us with this update.
Thank you.
Mark Vargas has exposed the truth. Democrats shut down our government on orders from Soros-funded radicals while troops work without pay and veterans lose services. Democrats demanding $1.5 trillion for illegals and woke policies. 65% of Americans oppose this. Republicans offer clean funding, but radical Democrats prefer chaos to compromise. Make sure you visit IllinoisReview.com for Mark's continued coverage of how the radical left is hijacking our government. When Soros groups dictate shutdowns and our military suffers for partisan politics, it's time to hold Democrats accountable. So thank you, Mark, again, for exposing this radical shutdown scheme. Democrats just shut down the federal government. So that was Mark Vargas. And we've got a lot more to get into. Here's a nice meme for you. A little palate cleanser. The Mexican word of the day is defense. If we don't give illegals free health care, they will go back over defense and we will lose our voters. The memes are all over the place. Democrats shut down WIC food assistance programs for moms and children could run out of funds if the shutdown persists. Man, they need those Democrat voters, don't they? Caroline Levitt writes, CNN's ratings are in the toilet because they're a propaganda machine for Democrats. Here are the actual facts. Democrats shut down the federal government to try to give taxpayer-funded benefits to illegals. The funding proposal put forward by the Democrats would result in nearly $200 billion in spending on illegal aliens and other non-citizens over the next decade. Democrats' America Last proposal will repeal provisions in the Working Families Tax Cuts signed into law by President Trump that take on waste, fraud, and abuse and block illegals from receiving health care benefits. The Democrat proposal intentionally allows for Medicaid to go to those improperly granted asylum and parole during Joe Biden's illegal alien invasion. The Democrat proposal would also require Medicaid to pay more for emergency care provided to illegal aliens than Medicaid does for American patients who are disabled, elderly, or children. Allow California to continue a gimmick that funds its Medicaid for Illegals program and reinstate a special Obamacare subsidy for non-citizens that low-income American citizens are not even eligible for. Here is the press secretary urging moderate Democrats to just simply step up.
Legislative affairs. As the vice president said at the White House press briefing yesterday, he and our legislative affairs shop and the president himself continue to be in very important discussions with these moderate Democrats and also with our allies, Senate Republicans, who have good relationships with these moderates. And they know what the right thing to do is. They just lack the courage to do it. But they need to step up and they need to vote for this clean continuing resolution to keep the government open that they voted for as recently as March, that they voted for 13 times previously in the past. So there is zero excuse for them to shut down our government right now, and they know it. And very soon, the American people and their constituents back home in states from New Hampshire to Nevada to Arizona to Florida are going to start feeling the pinch of this Democrat-led shutdown. We have millions of troops who are currently going without pay. We have women, children, and infants who cannot apply for a very important WIC program for that critical food and life assistance. And you also look at air traffic controllers who are now having to work without pay. These are critical consequences, and it's the Democrats' fault. And they have a chance to reverse course, and they should.
And, of course, they're going to continue to hold America hostage. Here's Hakeem Jeffries. He's still triggered over the memes. A reporter asking him about them.
Dynamic, and given the way that the president has been tweeting memes about you, has been, in your words and the words of Democrats, already dismantling healthcare, what makes you think that he will negotiate anything? What makes you think that he and Republicans will cave to you?
Public sentiment. At the end of the day, the public knows that Donald Trump and Republicans have shut the federal government down and that they're continuing to engage in the chaos and the cruelty and the corruption that we've seen from this administration from day one of the presidency. Again, this is the first week of their shutdown, but we've had months of chaos and cruelty unleashed on the American people. And the American people are paying close attention. And they know that it was...
Yeah, we are paying attention, buddy. We know you guys are the ones to blame. Don't gaslight us.
Donald Trump and Republicans who have shut the government down. They also know that House Democrats are fighting and Senate Democrats are fighting to protect the health care of the American people, because the Republican health care crisis has been devastating to people all across the country, devastating to working class Americans, devastating to rural America, to urban America, to the heartland of America, to small town America, and to black and brown communities all across America.
Okay, just get your sombrero, bro. Senate Republicans just posted this a couple hours ago. The government needs to remain open and working for the American people. Senate Democrats need to quit the partisan grandstanding and vote to reopen the government.
And Chuck Schumer, why are we in a Schumer shutdown? I think we all know the answer to that. Because Chuck Schumer is scared of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And Chuck Schumer is scared of his radical left-wing base. The Democrats need to pass the House's 7-week funding bill. Until then, there's nothing to negotiate. There's no compromises to be had. There's no games. There's no back channels.
It is the Schumer shutdown, and they are going to own it. Caroline Leavitt did a gaggle outside of the White House because they're still working in the White House. Eric Doherty writes that the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt just dropped the mic on this reporter. Reporter says it's against the law for illegals to get those benefits. Listen to this.
But they to undocumented immigrants, even though it's against the law for them to get these benefits. I know there's some debate about law-free presence.
Do you think that illegal aliens should receive Medicaid benefits? Medicaid benefits that go to the most vulnerable people.
I didn't ask about benefits, and that's a debate.
Medicaid benefits that were designed to help low-income families and Americans in our country. And
But they can't receive them.
But what the Biden administration did, Gabe, is they allowed tens of millions of illegal aliens from all over the world
Parole and temporary
to come
protected
into our
status.
country, yes, and they paroled them into the system. And you cover immigration, and you know well, it was a complete abuse of our immigration
But my
system.
question
and they
isn't-
slapped a Band-Aid on these illegals. They called it temporary protective status, and then they allowed those illegals from all over the world to get free benefits. And you know who would like free benefits?
I understand that point,
Hardworking
Caroline.
Americans who work their butts off every day, who are living paycheck to paycheck because of the Biden-induced inflation crisis. And there were higher wait times at hospitals under the Biden administration. We saw these illegals committing crimes all over our country, and they're getting things for free. That is fundamentally unfair, and this administration
But
is not
for
going
the
to
ER, to undocumented
Caroline
immigrants, even
Levitt, mic drop. Let's see. Caitlin Collins. I can't believe the Trump administration is doubling down with the memes.
That video. So we played sound from Vice President Vance, not just defending that AI racist video of Minority Leader Jeffries wearing a sombrero, but also like celebrating that video. And it was playing on a loop in the briefing room today. What are you hearing from the inside about that?
It was not only just playing on a loop in the briefing room. If you've never been in the press briefing room, for those who haven't, there are loudspeakers overhead so you can hear announcements or what's being said, or if there's an event going on with the president in the Rose Garden, for example. They were playing that mariachi music as well over the loudspeakers for all the press that was coming in and out of the White House today inside the press briefing room. It just kind of gives you a window, John, into how they're dealing with this and how they believe they have the upper hand when it comes to the messaging here, and also kind of how things have changed from the first time Donald Trump was in office. I mean, there was a shutdown then. I remember all 35 days of it. As the president said at the beginning, he'd be proud to shut the government down. And then it ended, obviously, with him not getting the money for his border wall. This time, you know, there's a moment here. They're being heavily criticized over these posts by the president, by Democrats. And instead of backing off or apologizing for it, they're leaning into it, and they're playing the music over loudspeakers and on repeat inside the briefing room because they simply don't care about that criticism.
All right, Caitlin Collins.
That's right, man. They are rubbing it in. Here we have this is a tourist who couldn't get into an Illinois national park site due to the Democrat government shutdown. They write, do your jobs. Senator Durbin and Senator Duckworth reopen the government. This is Kim Hessel. This looks like local Chicago.
I don't understand why they allow things to get this far and you know, at the expense of the people that can't afford to lose the check.
I just wish they would do their job. We're paying a lot of money for taxes.
I don't understand.
Yeah, do your job, man. Hakeem Jeffries regrets going on CNN. Jake Tapper embarrassing him. Oh boy, this should be good.
Extending the Obama.
Donald Trump blessed it as well.
So let me ask you about a provision that the Republicans are talking about quite a bit. I know you want to talk about, and Democrats want to talk about, extending the Obamacare subsidies, which expire at the end of 2025. But they talk about the provisions, and it's right here, Subtitle E, and this has to do with the repeal of health care subtitle changes, and specifically what it is. How they characterize it is you want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. I understand that's not really an accurate depiction, but what it does do is...
It's a lie.
It's a lie, but what you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants and people who don't have health insurance. And also there is this provision, and it's not about undocumented immigrants, it's about people with asylum seekers and people with temporary protected status, et cetera, but about their ability to get Medicaid. So they're non-citizens, they're not undocumented, they're not illegal. Why even include that in a bill, knowing that they're going to seize right upon that and use that to message? I understand that
Donald Trump blessed it as well.
Wow. CNN giving it to Hakeem. Remember this moment? This is classic. This has been circulating today. Remember back in 2020, every single Democrat running for president raised their hand in support of health care for illegal aliens. This is 2020. What year are we in now? 2025. Talk about trying to buy voters.
Plan would provide Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay. Let me raise your hand if government.
That says it all. That says it all right there. Illegal aliens. They're all raising their hand to give them health care that you pay for. I don't know how the Democrat Party is going to survive any of this. Laura Loomer writes, don't let Democrats gaslight you thinking they don't advocate for free health care for illegal aliens, even when they're caught on video. Okay, so they're going to play the video again. Let's listen.
Show of hands question.
I haven't heard anybody in my party saying that illegal immigrants should get access to the health insurance marketplace.
I'm so glad you said that. Actually, I have some tape of your Democratic Party members saying this on the debate stage. So they've all said it. Let's play the clip. Ooh.
A lot of you have been talking tonight about these government.
Hang on, did you see her face? Oh, this is good. She gets called out. I'm going to play back in slow motion because it's so gold. All right, watch. Okay, hey, ready?
Democratic Party members saying this on the debate stage, so they've all said, and let's play the clip.
Oh, look at her face. She closes her eyes. She's like, oh, man. Yeah, I just got burned. Oh. Yeah, the internet is forever, honey.
A lot of you have been talking tonight about these government health care plans that you've proposed in one form or another. This is a show of hands question, and hold them up for a moment so people can see. Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Senator, that's literally every member of your party, from moderate to more progressive, that have said that in the past.
I haven't heard anybody in my party saying that.
I wish the clip was longer. Oh, I would love to see how she tries to talk her way out of that one, but you can't. Trump War Room says, nice eyebrows to Shuri Thandar. 24 hours ago, he posted, House Republican won't be back to D.C. until October 7th. Looks like the government will remain shut down until then for sure. My offices are open.
Returning back to Detroit this morning after the Republicans failed to show up in the U.S. House. We got to make sure Americans have the health care that they need. And if that means we got to shut this government down, so be it. Returning back to...
Yeah, no, the eyebrows are kind of scary. Like, are those tattooed on? Are those painted on? Like, what's going on here, guys? Help me out and help me on the comments here. I'm trying to fix... Oh, my goodness. Oh, by the way, that alien spacecraft that's barreling towards space, at least that's what they're calling it, it's 3I Atlas. NASA is not updating its status due to lapse in federal funding, so I guess the alien invasion is just going to happen by surprise now. A new message that has appeared on the NASA website. Due to the lapse in federal government funding, NASA is not updating this website. This is on the 3I Atlas page. Sorry, we can't track the alien invasion now. Oh, what else do we have here? I mean, this is just... Oh, President Trump. Yeah, baby, let's go. MJ Truth Ultra posting this 8 hours ago. There was a memo going around suggesting there would be mass firings in the U.S. government. Will that happen? Oh, yeah, baby, let's go.
Projects that... There was an OMB memo going around suggesting that there might be firings during the shutdown. Do you think that will happen if the shutdown goes for a little bit of time, sir?
Well, there could be firings, and that's their fault. And it could also be other things. I mean, we could cut projects that they wanted, favorite projects, and they'd be permanently cut. So you could say, a lot of people are saying Trump wanted this, that I wanted this closing, and I didn't want it. But a lot of people are saying it because I'm allowed to cut things that should have never been approved in the first place. And I will probably do that.
I will probably do that. The White House leading report writes, likely to fire thousands of federal employees during the lockdown. Yes, the swamp drains itself. What else have we got here? Democrats shut down Margot Martin. Let's see. This is the AOC staging a coup on Chuck Schumer, holding the party hostage. AOC's, I am the captain now. This is Jesse Waters. Check this out.
And negotiate with me.
Buckle up. The Democrats are staging another coup.
I saw some Republican members of Congress saying, oh, well, if we have this shutdown, it's because of AOC. Well, if that's the case, my office is open and you are free to walk in and negotiate with me directly.
AOC is announcing, I'm captain now, and told Schumer to walk the plank. Chuck, did you hear that?
The Schumer shutdown. What do you say about that name?
Oh, yeah.
Senator Schumer, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Senator Schumer, can you hear me? I don't think Senator Schumer can hear me right now. Maybe the government shutdown included audio on Capitol Hill.
Do we even need to hear from Chuck? Because AOC is the shot caller. She told Chuck to shut it down, and he did. He shut it down so he can keep his job.
Chuck Schumer is terrified she's going to get a primary challenge from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far-left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge.
The White House posted this picture of Schumer as a hot dog.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, it's kosher. We also hope Chuck grills dogs better than burgers. Speaking of barbecue, what's up with his hands?
Whoa.
Did he burn them on the grill? Democrats don't have a political party, but at least they have a Halloween party. Chuck's dressed as a hot dog, AOC's a pirate, and Hakeem's wearing a sombrero. Nancy didn't get the invite, and now she's rhymes with hissed.
There was a thought from the Republicans that AOC is directing this, and she said that senators are welcome to go to her office directly. Is she driving that?
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
I'm just quoting what AOC said. She said go to her office directly. Do you think there's any credibility to that?
She's not directing this. She's wonderful. She's a real...
Nancy Pelosi. Everyone triggered over there. Wes Moore, a prerequisite to keeping the government open. What is it?
A prerequisite to keeping the government open should not be cutting people off of health care. A prerequisite for keeping the government open should not be forcing people to have their premiums jump. So on behalf of the 6.5 million Marylanders, my message to President Trump is clear. Stop this shutdown.
Well, the Democrats can. They just cross the aisle and pass that continuing resolution. Everything would be just fine. Here's Secretary Rollins.
For clearly, this is a radical Democrat shutdown for radical Democrat reasons, driven by a radical Democrat, Chuck Schumer. And the Schumer shutdown means that, as per usual, here we go, right? It's putting illegal aliens first. It's opening the borders. It's giving benefits to those who cross our border illegally. It's weakening national defense. It's abandoning our farmers. It's sort of one thing after another with these Democrats. And here we are again. I mean, to your point, we've, done this 13 times. We've had a clean CR. The government has continued. Negotiations are fine. Our vice president said that yesterday, willing to always negotiate. But to hold our farmers hostage, our mothers and children hostage under WIC, all of these government programs are coming to a screeching halt, many of which are administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The Democrats they've completely lost their mind once again. Clearly.
Once again, they've lost their mind. If you got value from this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. So Democrats shut down our government on orders from Soros-funded radicals while troops work without pay and veterans lose services. Democrats demanding $1.5 trillion for illegals and woke policies. 65% of Americans oppose this. Republicans offer clean funding, but radical Democrats prefer chaos to compromise. Make sure you visit IllinoisReview.com for Mark Vargas' continued coverage of how the radical left is hijacking our government. Because when Soros groups dictate shutdowns and our military suffers for partisan politics, it's time to hold the Democrats accountable. This is illegals first, America last. Border Patrol agents trying to stop violent crime go unpaid while Democrats fight for free health care for people who broke into our country. So here's my question. Should any member of Congress get paid while our troops work without paychecks? Drop a yes or no. Let's have a conversation in the comments. And while you're fired up, check out our merch shop. It's linked below. And show the world where you stand with real news, not fake narratives.